Hello, and welcome to the Karma Saga. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the stories. Wanna be aunt, not a parent, AITH? Sorry, this is a little long. My brother had a child right after graduating high school, and my mother, who has always favored him, stepped right into care for this child. He married the baby mama, but it was very short-lived. Then, like most people in their early 20s, he wanted to be free and have fun. So my niece grew up with my mom, seeing her parents on occasion. And honestly, my brother would breeze in every couple weeks and be like a big brother to her. This always bothered me. She is now grown herself, married with 3 kids of her own. She is an excellent mother. Very proud of her. Well, about 10 years after having her, he met another toxic woman. They got married and began having kids right away. He actually knew her 2 weeks when she quit her job and moved in with him. So in the 20 years they have been married, she has never worked again. And they have had 6 kids. She is obsessed with babies. But once they get about 2 or 3 years old, she's not very interested anymore. He just kept giving into this addiction to make her happy. Meanwhile, even though he has a great job, money has been tight. I helped them out some early on. I worried about my nieces and nephews. But as they continue to make more kids after my helping, I quit doing so. But I firmly believe that my mom has continued to do so whenever she could. And mind you, she is on a very fixed income. She would not make it if my sister and I help her financially. That is one thing my sister will do, send money for my mom. So even after brother remarried, his first daughter was never a part of that family. The second wife did not want her to be. My mom, his enabler, has made every excuse under the moon about that. There is no excuse for that. Well, after 20 years of marriage and 6 kids, 2 are grown and another almost grown, 3 still young ones, his wife asked for divorce. I have no idea what all happened, as I do not want to get too deep into his drama. But since she has never had any desire to work, I assume there is another man promising her things. My mom had to move in with me about 5 years ago due to health issues. I am her caregiver, including doctor's visits, picking up medicines, all the grocery shopping, take her to do all her errands, cook for her, clean for her, etc. She has always loved to drive. Up until about 2 years ago, she still drove and could do more for herself, but suddenly became scared to do so. I have no idea what this is about. So that has actually made her more dependent. So his wife wanted a divorce and he came right to my mom for sympathy. He stayed with us a few months and it was absolute hell. I have always known he likes his beer, but had no idea how bad it was. He spent a considerable amount of time in the spare bedroom just drinking when not working. And it would often make him confrontational. My mom would make excuses for this too, that he missed the kids so much and was depressed. I finally had to make it clear that it was my home and I was not having that. Shortly after that, he got his own place. I could tell my mom was furious with me, but there was not much she could say. And I stepped up for her. And she knows what he was doing was not right. So one of the teenagers got into it with their mom. And she called DCS on her mom. I have no idea who is right or wrong in that. This teenager can be drama, but so is their mom. It's really just a taste of her own medicine. But now there is a whole investigation going on, and my brother wonders if he may end up with custody of them all. Because he is the one with the good job who can provide. I can tell he is not thrilled with this idea, but he does love those kids. So he continually worries my mom's sick with all of this. I hear her on the phone multiple times a day since I work from home, trying to be his therapist, telling him how to go about it, finding a bigger place, enrolling them in a different school, and making it work if he gets them. But I can also tell from these conversations that he's trying to get her to assist him with it. There is no way she can do that. And if she volunteers to do it, that will all just fall on me. And I cannot take any more on. I have had some female health problems of my own, and I am probably going to have a major surgery. I have nothing else to give right now. I have no children of my own. So I have always doted on my nieces and nephews. Every vacation they have been on, I have provided it. And not to brag, but these have been nice vacations to the beach, Disney, and even a cruise. I want to do this for them because we never got anything like that growing up. I have also paid for every single school lunch for every one of them since they have been in school. I know that seems minor, but when you think about $2.50 a day per child x 6, that adds up. And I've had them on a regular basis for years. They are at least with me one weekend a month, sometimes two. Some of the older ones do their own things now, but they are always invited. I have always also attended all events at school. School staff know me by first name. My brother works often, and his wife has never been really interested in the kids unless they are babies. So I have been at school for holiday lunches, parties, field days, plays, awards, etc. And again, I do these things because I want to. I love my niece and nephews. But here's where the new problem arises. I guess because I have done so much, it's almost expected now. As if I'm the third parent. But I am not. So I have felt for a while my brother is hinting to my mom for us to help in some way. I have made it clear, I do not want him moving in my house with all those children. I have a basement which he has mentioned more than once. I work from home, and I need to have quiet areas. And quite honestly, I do not want to do that. I want to be the cool aunt. If I wanted to be a mom, daily, I would have had my own children. And even if he's not hinting in that direction, he still seems to be wanting our help in some capacity if he gets custody. I don't think it's right to be obligated. Again, we are not the parents. Of course, since our mom already raised a kid for him, I think her helping seems perfectly normal for him. But there are two things wrong with that. First of all, she is not 50 years old anymore. She is almost 80 years old and not in good health. And the second thing is that even if she agrees to anything, it will be her basically volunteering me. As I am her caregiver now, so, hello? Then, today I had to take a couple of hours off work to take her to a doctor's appointment. By the way, I am the only one that ever does this. Since she lives with me and I work from home, my siblings just always assume I will do it. If I miss work hours, I still have to make those up. But I have just learned to pick my battles. So we got in the car, and I could tell something was bothering her. Then, out of nowhere, she says, if DCS decides kids can't stay with their mom, I will not let them go to foster care. We will have to take them in. I have no idea where that came from. So I reminded her that they have a whole other parent, her son. And that as long as there are two able-bodied parents, that's who they need to be with. For some reason, this made her so mad. She spent the rest of the ride ignoring me. And if it ever really came down to that, of course I would not let my nieces and nephews go to foster care. But I don't want to even offer this as an option, as I feel their parents will take advantage of it. And I hate to say that about my brother, but he has been enabled so much that I think he would. I honestly think he would let our elderly mom do the lion's share of it all if I was not there playing defense. I called my sister for help, asking her to tell her mom that there is no way she can care for children at her age and health. She responded back with a text message saying, I don't want to be in the middle of all this. Like I do? I just feel so defeated. These are problems that adults made for themselves, and they should be the ones stressing them and figuring them out. I went to check on mom before bed and give her night medicines. And she informed me that if anything happens, she will be taking the kids in. I just had nothing left in me to argue tonight. I am having a lot of pain with my own health issues and stress to the max. But I guess tomorrow I am going to have to remind her that this is my home. I hate to play that card, as I have always wanted to feel at home. But it is my house. And again, I would not let my nieces and nephews go to foster care. She also told me today that I must not love them as much as I say, or else I would be stepping up, taking over. That is not my place. And it's not her place either. She is not going to let this go easily. It's more a control thing with her. And the fact that she has an addiction of enabling my brother. She makes me feel like I'm a giant asshole. But I don't think I'm wrong for setting these boundaries. Me doing so much for these kids is now becoming a punishment to me. Because as I asked her earlier, why is so much expected of me? But she does not expect the same for my sister, who is also their aunt. And her comeback was that my sister has not ever been close to them like I have been. So me being a good aunt means I'm supposed to take everything on? I just feel so taken advantage by people I have helped. Update: I just want to first start by saying how appreciative I am of all the wonderful and thoughtful responses. It's incredible and sad how many dysfunctional families there are. Oh, guess I am not alone in that. There has really not been big changes over the last few days since I posted this, except for me holding my ground more and making it clear that I'm not going to do that. Mom ignored me the whole next day. And then the day after that, she began trying to be nice. She must have either spoke to my sister or thought it through and realized I am the one in control. And I'm not some control freak who has to call the shots. But in this situation, I want peace. She did mention yesterday that if my brother really needs her, she will go to him. I told her that she was an adult and that was her choice, but also said she needs to think about her health also. I also heard her over the phone with her sister, my aunt. I only heard a little bit of it as I was bringing groceries in while she was talking to her on the porch. I try not to listen to any of it to keep my sanity, and her sister was telling her that she should really consider going to the assisted living where friends are. I also heard my aunt saying that I had enough on me already. She mentioned this morning that even if she decided to go to assisted living, they have no openings until the first of the year. So, she must have actually spoken to her friends about it. But then she also casually mentioned this morning, when I brought her breakfast, that she worries she will go there and then my brother will need her help with the kids. I told her that she had nothing else left to give to those kids, except visiting with them when she can. Informed her she had already raised one child for him, and this was her time to be with her friends and rest. And my time to do what I want too. I also told her that by neither one of us doing it, it would actually build a stronger relationship between him and his kids. Not to mention that the older ones help a lot with the younger ones. She actually agreed. But I also see that she's having a hard time not rushing to help him. She never said she was sorry. She rarely ever does. But she did say that she helps him more because he's willing to ask for it. And I reminded her that the very few times my sister and I asked for help when we were still very young, teenagers, that she told us to figure it out. So, we did. And ours were never big asks. One time I needed help with college student aid paperwork, and she said she had no idea how to do it and shut me down. I didn't want money, just assurance. I never asked for help with anything again. I told her us figuring things out young really helped us so much in the long run. She looked in hard thought and sad at the same time, even though physically she's not what she once was. My mom is still very mentally sharp. I could tell she knew I was right about that. Then I noticed brother had called me 2x this afternoon. I have not heard from him at all over the weekend because I'm assuming she told him we had gotten into it about that. Because she hears from him multiple times a day. For him to call 2x back to back makes me think it's going to be one of his emergency situations. If anybody can make a mountain out of a molehill, it's him. Or else he's just waited too long to do something, and now it's a dire situation, which he says most issues are. But either way, I am not rushing to call him back. I have not felt well all day. Right now I'm just going to focus on my health only. Getting into the specialist first part of September. It cannot come quick enough. Thanks everyone again. So my original post got so many responses. I wanted to give a second update. So I have stood strong and absolutely refused to be dragged into the drama or to be manipulated into taking kids and that have two able-bodied parents. Every time my mom or he have brought it up, I have shut them down and walked away. When my mom purposely gets on the phone, speaking to him loudly where I can hear, I just turn on my fan and get back to my work. Well then tonight, my brother called me, drinking as he always does on the weekends. He said he wasn't, but it was very obvious. I have not answered many of his calls over the last month or so, but he called me twice in a row, so I thought something was wrong. It started off pretty well, as he knows I am done with the drama. He asked how I was and how work was going. He has only came by twice to see our mom, but both times I was on work calls. But then he snuck in something he knew would bother me. He said that his soon-to-be ex-wife had been spending the money he's giving her on frivolous things. Therefore, he did not think she had paid the house note, where she and the kids live. I will say that he has sent her a good amount of money, every month, because my niece told me how much a while back. And he does pay it first of every month, and the wife is now working, bringing in her own full-time income. She should have enough to pay what all they need. Their mortgage is not even very high, but again, not my deal. What she originally wanted was for him to pay all the bills up there and still pay his own bills too. Well, that's not how things work. But I don't think they have a formal agreement through the courts yet. And before anyone asks, I have no idea why he hasn't filed or what's going on. I am trying my best to stay out of it, or I get dragged into being taken advantage of. So he said if they lose the house, she would probably be taking the kids and moving back to her home state. And I wouldn't see the kids. He then said the only other option would be if I could take them in. So there it was. The reason he called. I remembered all the great advice I got on here and did not fall for it. I told him he would have to take them in. He is their father after all. I am just their aunt who already takes care of our mother. And I have gone far and beyond what most aunts do. He started rambling some excuses on why he couldn't do it. Apartment too small, nobody to keep the younger ones after school, blah, blah, blah. None of which made any sense. But I did not fall for the threat. I told him I would hate for that to happen, but only he was in the position to stop it. And that I love my nieces and nephews completely. But I was not taking anyone else in this house. I was at a friend's house and did not talk long. My friend was so proud of me. I swear that he gets to drinking and feeling down about his mess of a life. And he wants to ruin someone else's night. Or he wants attention, not sure what it is. And no desire to figure it out. And I am worried about them moving away. His wife's family are not the best people. Does anyone know if she can legally do that? I cannot let my mom or brother know I'm worried about it, or they will use that to twist my arm. This whole thing really sucks. Of course, when I got home, he had already called Mom. And I was not gone more than an hour. She tried to start too, saying what a hard situation he was in once again. I remembered all the awesome advice I got on here. And I just said, he is an adult and got himself in the situation. I am sure he will figure it out and be better for it. I think she has finally accepted that she can no longer enable him and that I'm not going to. And she is not happy. I went back out there a few minutes ago and told her that I would help her get ready for bed and get her medicine. Her comeback was that I did not care about her and she just would not take her medicine. Said she would be better off dead. And that family helps family, which I suddenly didn't want to do. I did not fall for it. I have helped my family repeatedly and nothing changed. I would hate for that to happen or to not see my nieces and nephews. But I am not being emotionally blackmailed anymore. And I am already one step ahead, knowing what they will try next. My mom will say that he wants to move in here with the kids, where they don't have to move away. And that we will just have to help him with them. And by we, it means me. And by help, it means me doing it all. Because he will go on about his life, paying for things, but me doing all the grunt work. That is going to be a hell no. She also claimed he was not drinking anymore. I told her that was not true, as he was drunk tonight. Mom will literally believe anything he tells her. It's actually quite sad that I am trying to be as strong as I can, and whenever I feel weak, I get back on here and look at all the great advice I received. I did end up having my surgery, and when they got in there was not nearly as bad as they thought. And I have been recovering really well. But, of course, the minute any of this starts, I instantly feel so sick to my stomach. That is another reason I am avoiding it. I have always been very healthy. And suddenly my body is telling me I cannot take this anymore. So I have to listen to it. I hope everybody is well. Good night.